It's time for Transport Line, the program that showcases the contributions of all modes of transportation to the socio-economic growth and development of our nation, Africa, and the world at large. Transport Line is being beamed to you from the Center of Excellence, the state of aquatic splendor, and Africa's fifth largest economy, Lagos. I am Shino Elegbede, and thanks for being part of the program. A few weeks ago, the International Day of Seafarers was celebrated globally. And of course, in Nigeria, stakeholders and experts gathered together in Lagos to deliberate on the way forward as regards the opportunities and challenges of seafarers in Nigeria. Well, after that discussion, Transport Line deemed it fit to bring on set a maritime expert, a consultant, and of course, call him seaman, call him seafarer. He fits into all this description. I'm referring to Captain Tajuddin Alao, the current president of Association Nigerian Mariners, is on set with me to look at, like I said, the opportunities and challenges of seafarers in Nigeria. Captain Alao, you're welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, sir.
Well,
thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, you're welcome to the program anyway. Now, seafarers in Nigeria, opportunities and challenges. A lot of people, they call them, like I said, seaman and what have you. They don't really know what it takes to be a seafarer. What are the basic prerequisites if one wants to be a seafarer?
Thank you. Seafaring is a career that one must make out of choice, and it depends on the aspect of the profession. You want to be a navigator, you want to be a marine engineer, you want to be a victualling stewards, because the services they provide covers all aspects of human endeavor. On a cruiser ship, you have up to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 passengers. You are going to provide them water, you are going to cook for them, provide accommodation, you are going to provide communication, you are going to move them safely from point A to point B. You must have doctors on board. So, for you to make a career at sea, you must have basic education before you select your field, your line of expertise. Science background is very important. Accounting background is very important, depending on the career path you want to take and what type of ship you want to sail on.
Okay.
Generally, science is basic.
Do we have institutions in Nigeria where we can have basic training before we go for sea training?
Thank you very much. We have so many now accredited by Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Maritime Academy.
Okay, yeah.
You have College of Fisheries at Victoria Island. You have the Maritime University at Okorenkoko. You have the Admiralty University at Asaba. You have Shakins Marine in Port Harcourt. You have Joe Marine in Warri. You have Global Marine in Ughelli. In fact, you have so many maritime institutes that provide from basic familiarization courses and certification up to professional certification.
Yes, one could recall that personality like you were the bedrock of the defunct Nigerian National Shipping Line. And we could recall at that time that you can hardly differentiate when you are in your white uniform, whether you are a naval officer or a seafarer. But today, we could say that, like they said at the June 25th celebration of the World Seafarer Day, that you are the pivot and the the pillars of world trade. How true is this?
That is very fantastic. We started what we call naval seafaring. The fighting navy were support services to provide, to cover the trade from attack. So we are the real navy. They are fighters. You understand? And the school we attended in Europe is all paramilitary, full drill, basic training. That's a fact. And you know, in life, like any transport, is value addition. The crude oil on the ground is valueless until you transport it from A to B. So it's when you move goods from point A to point B that you can put value on it. There are many places in the world where they don't have water. Desert, you can carry water by tanker, by ship to those areas. It's the same thing, transport that value to everything we do. So I would say the global trade, transport has 85% value to global trade. You can see during the COVID, when there was no flight zone, people had food stuff, they got spoiled. You could not move them from A to B. But ships were still moving, allowed to sail all over the world to keep the world. Even flights were not allowed. Land transport from one zone to the other was stopped. From one state in Lagos, from Nigeria to Benin, the border shut globally. But ships were still moving to keep on the world trade so that the economy of the world is going on. So transport is value addition, whether maritime, aviation, road, or rail.
One of the resolutions of the World International Seafarer Day was that the leadership of NEMASA has pledged to see that majority of vessels or boats in Nigerian water, we have them being manned by Nigerian seafarers. Can you chip in one or two modalities or templates that NEMASA can employ to bring into fruition this idea?
Actually, seafaring is an international job. I work in Iran, I work in Asia. So foreigners coming to work in Nigeria, we cannot totally rule it out. But having said that, we have the local content law, we have the cabotage law that make provision for engagement of our people. Also, we have unemployed teeming youths that we need to engage. So the machinery, the legal authority, the legal instrument is there to engage our seafarers, but it must be worked out. Why? Because most of the assets in our coast are not owned by us. And to mortgage, to bring those ships from other places here, there are financial implications with manning, with management of the ship. In order not to have disruption in our economic activities offshore, they need to do a lot of groundwork to effect that principle. It's a laudable idea, it is a political decision, and it is welcome if it can be actualized.
Yeah, you as the current president of the Nigerian Association of Master Mariners, what has been your contributions as regards movement of goods from point A to B, especially during this period of runaway inflation in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. You see, there's what we call sustainable shipping. To safely carry goods from point A to point B. And because we are the helm of the affair in this safe operation of shipping, so we are kind of responsible for successful implementation of this exercise. So we are the peak, we are the master of the ocean, the conqueror of the water. And our job is to tell the world, to assure the world, and to assure the people coming behind that this is the right way to move ship safely, to navigate ship safely, to manage the cargo on board safely, and the human resources, and also to sustain the environment that we don't pollute the environment. So when all this is accomplished, then you have moved goods from A to B. You don't want to destroy the environment by carrying out your profession. So we are at the peak of this profession, and we provide mentorship and direction and lobby to the government. So our services are quite essential, and our advice very, very essential to global trade.
Captain Tajudeen Alao, one could recall that you are once a cadet officer of the defunct Nigerian National Shipping Line, where, to God be the glory, you rose to the rank of a captain in your own area of specialties. Now, like I said, the Nigerian National Shipping Line is defunct, but there is clamor by many that there should be a rebirth of a national shipping line. Well, what is your view on this, and how important will this be in this period of food insecurity and we want to have food security? Essentially,
there is difference between a national fleet and a national carrier. The situation on the ground in our time called the need for national carrier. And it was a scheme that the government engaged in, and it was popular all over the world. Now, they say government does not have business in anything to do with business.
No, that's the wrong philosophy. But let's go on.
It is a wrong philosophy. Yes, it's a wrong philosophy. So there must be a deliberate action, especially in our climate, to trigger off, to initiate. Because if you form a national carrier, you can sell the proceeds to the public. But the capital, initial capital, the seed must be by government. Because we have tried for many years from private sector. It's not possible. It has been difficult. More so, the government has cargo, dedicated cargo for local government, state government, and federal government. This cargo should be reserved for the national carrier so that they will be able to break even. So we really support government initiative and also private initiative, which gave birth to the National Maritime Authority 3% shipping development and cabotage 2%. But this money is warehoused in the government, and the government is not even releasing it. They've turned it into government revenue, which is very, very bad. It is the players' money, the ship operators' money, to be able to take out of it to boost especially in time of need like this. And the COVID experience shows us that what you don't have, you cannot give. If we own our own ships, we'll be able to put them to trade. And Iran and many of these companies survived the war and blockade because they have their own ship. I'm very sure if anything happens to us in Nigeria, we won't be able to cope. So our association will support national carrier and we support encouragement of national fleet.
Now, talking about CVVF fund that you've just mentioned now, we know that the Association of Nigerian Shipowners have been crying for disbursement of this fund. And a school of thought also said that, look, government should use this fund to set up a maritime bank so that those who are genuinely interested in floating a vessel will go there and negotiate with the bank, and we have the beginning of Nigerian own ships. In those days, the Folawios were there, Shehu Yarada and what have you, when they had Fajemiroku, when they owned their own
Waziri
vessels.
Ibrahim.
Waziri Ibrahim. But today, so how do we go about it?
Look, the philosophy of this enemy, which Raymond Dokwesi late initiated from German model, the principle behind cabotage financing fund, which Ulisa Gbakoba and co initiated through the Jones Act, is all geared towards getting the seed money to be able to start a shipping company. Yes, some people took the money because of wrong management. The shipping, the money lost value. Most of them could not, but some people paid back. People like Enacho and Co, they pay back the money. So we don't have the collateral. The ship cannot be the collateral. alone. There must be equity. And our people don't have the equity. So this fund which they have contributed should be annexed, should be released to them in order, either they give it to a shipyard when you have done the outline business case, and then the shipyard will deliver the ship. But the government cannot and must not sit on this money 23 years now. Capital 23 years, and the government is still sitting on the money and not giving it out. So they need the money to be able to propel the industry, to create wealth, because there are multiplier effects in shipping. When you have the ship, you have job for seafarer, you have job for shipyard, you have job for suppliers of equipment, supplier of food, galore. The ports will operate. Without ship, no need for port. Without ship, no need to train to establish a maritime school. No need to train people. You see, so the multiplier effect is good. We need to galvanize the industry.
Now, I want Captain Olau, we look at the issue of repairing of vessels, and we have a floating dockyard. In Ghana, it's making a lot of foreign exchange for them. In Nigeria, our own has been docile for years. What do you think government should do to really quickly enhance the utilization of this dockyard, which is under the custody of NIMASA? That is one. Then secondly, gender sensitivity is very, very current now. And we hardly see female seafarers. What is happening?
Thank you very much. 2 years ago, IMO thing was female seafarer to encourage them to sea. And it's a global issue. But in Nigeria, I'm happy to tell you we have women. We have a lot of women. Initially, there was apathy. In 1975, Ghana had 6 girls, cadets, and they all rose to become master mariners, 2 in IMO, 1 in Asia, 2 or 3 in Ghana Maritime Academy, Regional Maritime University, as HODs, head of departments. But Nigeria had appetite that when a female goes to sea, the female will be harassed. And we have seen it in the past. But when there is discipline, that's where the paramilitary training is very essential before people go to sea. Discipline, a woman should be able to stand her ground, and then nobody can intimidate her. Discipline on the part of the men, and also the management ashore. You cannot just say, throw the girls there. You must seek their welfare after their need. And most of the ships that we buy, they are second ships. So if we buy new ship, there will be a deliberate design, even it should be on the ground now, where there will be accommodation for female, so that this provision will be there for their sea career from day one. We have women at sea now. We have master mariners, about 3 or 4, and I commend them. And we have a lot of people in the coast. Maritime Academy is producing so many, College of Fishery, but they have no ship to train upon, to trade upon, to be able to upgrade their career. That is why they are not feasible. But we have women at sea, and they are doing fairly well.
The floating dock issue is there. What should be done?
The floating dock issue was a misconception. The business outline case was not properly done, and there was a lot of political consideration. And instead of buying the ship by government, they should have given the money to the seafarer, the mariners, who are versatile in marine engineering, to acquire the floating dock and run it. The government went ahead to buy it, and then to position it in a particular place because of certain consideration. And when there was change in government, the new people decided it would not go there because it would not attract trade. It will be a white elephant project. Now, what government should have done is to have identified the people who can run it and give it to them. But they brought it down to Nigeria at a bigger cost, and then they put the boat down there for many years now, over 5 years, which the dock itself is due for docking. The floating dock is due for docking itself. So that is a disaster. So government should, I know they are doing a lot of underground work to engage it. You know, but the bureaucracy is too much. And the floating dock, I'm afraid, should not become a wreck while government is still deliberating for 5, 6, 7 years on what to do. It should be given out to either the Navy, Naval Dockyard, or any MPA dockyard, or it's a government asset for good order's sake, or any renowned marine engineer with requisite experience to manage it. There are jobs for it, for the boat, small vessels, supply boats, fishing vessels, etc., etc. But unfortunately, unlike a baby, the boat is consuming money for maintenance.
Yeah,
where it is.
We pay demurrage on a monthly basis.
So where it is laid up,
yeah.
the master has no labor. So wherever it is, security they must pay. So they should quickly take it. They should give it to master mariners, and we know what to do with it immediately.
Okay. Now, we've looked at the seafarer, master mariners, and aside from the issue of the few female members, the challenges, what other challenges do you think presently the seafarers are encountering? And most importantly, those master mariners that have retired, what can be done?
Well, I'm a consultant, I'm retired, I'm still active. If you are knowledgeable, you will always be engaged. I'm an examiner, I'm a lecturer, part-time lecturer, I'm a moderator for National Board of Technical Education, ND and HND in nautical science. If you are active, the training you have, you will always be, your service will always be required. If you are knowledgeable, if you have received a proper training, grounding, you will be versatile. But there are some who are weak. So out of job medical facility is very important. And most of the people who retire, their pension is not worth living upon. So these are the constraints. So the people serving now, there is no encouragement for them. When they look at the retired ones that they are not doing well, they look at the career from a different angle. Okay, better let me secure myself, do business which they are not trained for, and all that. But if the industry is very wide, and there are opportunities that one can fit in, even after active service. But the government must provide enabling environment for shipping to trade. People call me from India, people call me from Singapore. There are many jobs that I cannot do that I give to other people. It's an international job if you are versatile. But if the language coming out of Nigeria is not good, even if they know you, they will be reluctant to call you for a job.
Well, Captain Tajuddin Alao, we have to cut it short and make it bye-bye for now. We thank you for finding time to come on our program to really educate and enlighten people what it takes to be a seafarers as regards, again, the opportunities and challenges facing seafarers, whether serving or retired. We hope you continue to serve your country, our nation, in all ways, and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You are welcome at your service anytime.
Yeah. Well, before we round up, I say bye-bye. I want to say a big shout-out and congratulations to Jean Chiezo Anishere, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. She's one of the frontline female maritime experts in Nigeria. She was recently appointed as a member of the International Chambers of Commerce of the International Court of Arbitration. She's going to serve from this year to 2027. And that's a big plus, not only for her, but for our nation. Jean, I say, congratulations.
Congratulations, Jean.
We continue to be very proud of you. SCN, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Well,
Jean.
that's all about time we have for the program today. But remember, please continue to be your brother's keeper. Be compassionate. That way, we have a more humane society. The next time, bye-bye for now.